Welcome back to the channel. Racer X here, and today I am in Pontiac, Michigan. This is where I've been all week, had all sorts of fun things I've been doing with Dodge, including the Roadkill Nights, which hopefully you guys got to see. And then of course, last night was the first of 3 big nights of reveals over at the M1 Concourse. I had a live going. A lot of people watched that live. I've been looking at all of your comments. Some people super disappointed, some people really happy, and I've just been paying very close attention to everything all of you guys are saying. So I thought I would put a little video together about my thoughts, what I actually saw last night. Is it good? Is it bad? I will tell you today also maybe a little glimpse of what we might see on tonight's live. It's going to be the same thing. Night 2 of 3 is tonight. I'm looking forward to bringing it to you. If you're new to my channel, please do me a big gigantic favor, hit that little subscribe button. It's down here in the corner, and you can follow me on Instagram as well. Off we go.
T-minus 15 seconds.
So after that live last night, which was amazing, guys. I mean, it was one of the biggest lives I've ever done on my channel. And certainly a lot of people were very intrigued by all these unveilings. Everybody wanted to know. You guys were just like me. We wanted to know exactly what surprises Dodge had in store for us. And as I started to take a harder look at what they actually showed us, and I think most of it was really for kind of those hardcore racers out there. That's really not what I was expecting. So last night caught me a little bit off guard. I was expecting something entirely different than what we saw. And what we did see, we saw a drag pack essentially for $90,000, and that comes without a powertrain. So if you've got 90 grand laying around and you want a dedicated drag car, you can buy one of these basically, these drag packs that you could pay 90 grand for, and then you got to go out and you have to source an engine for it and probably several other components to actually make that car work. So we did see that, but for the vast majority of us out there, that's something that's just not really applicable to us. Now, as we jump into the next offering, it was basically a shell of a Challenger for $8,000. So you can buy a Challenger shell and paint it whatever color you want, all that kind of stuff. And that's literally all it was just a body of a Challenger. So if you are somebody that wants to build a race car, you like the way the Challenger looks, maybe this is a viable thing for you. But once again, for the vast majority of us out there, 98%, 99% of people, this offering really won't mean a whole lot to us. And then, of course, we jump up and we saw an all carbon fiber 1970 Challenger, which was beautiful, by the way. I got right up next to it. I saw all the beautiful carbon fiber. I mean, what an absolutely gorgeous thing to look at. I mean, I loved it. There's a drawback. 200 grand is basically what you're paying for a rolling chassis with that carbon fiber shell sitting on it and a couple other goodies. You don't get any sort of like interior. There's no engine. There's none of that. So if you want to build a car out of that, not only do you have to have 200 grand to start, but you also have to be able to source engine pieces and everything else to make the car work. So, I mean, you're looking at a $500,000 build or some crazy thing when it's all said and done and you get the labor into it and all that kind of stuff. That is not for the faint of heart, guys. You got to have a lot of money to be able to play in that world. So while it was cool, once again, for the 99.9% of us out there, this really isn't a thing. It's nothing to really be all that crazy about. Now, there were a couple of direct connection points that were referenced that I also saw outside I thought were kind of cool, right? So now we've got the 2.7 liter or the red eye blower, the demon blower, if you will. That is now available through direct connection. I think that is cool. And even better, I think the 3-liter blower. And I actually talked to one of the head guys at IHI about those blowers last night. And I think these are pretty intriguing options from direct connection. And as Tim mentioned in the press conference, these are going to be basically bolt-on type kits. So you shouldn't have to run around trying to source other pieces to make it work. You buy it, it gets shipped to you. You basically just bolt it up to your car and hopefully it works just fine. Obviously, making sure that it's compatible with your car. But I am pretty intrigued by that. They also talked about like carbon fiber panels for the modern day muscle cars that they have out, but I don't believe those are going to be cheap either. But if you want to make your car lighter and you like the look of the carbon fiber, supposedly that's going to be a new option from direct connection. So those pieces, a little bit more relatable. Now, on to the next thing, the convertible Challenger. Now, this one had me pretty intrigued. Obviously, this is something that we didn't see, and maybe this is a little bit more applicable to a lot of the people that were out there. A lot of the comments on my live really revolved around this, and I've got a couple pieces I want to talk to you about this particular thing. So, did it look good? I'm not a convertible guy. I've never been that guy. I probably would not buy one. Um, One, it's not a factory thing, right? So it's not like you can get on Dodge's website and you can spec out a convertible, or like that's not really how it works. They said you can order this through direct connection. They build you the car, it gets sent off to a third party. I am told by several of the people here on my comment section and everything I've learned, it's like 25 grand to have your car sent over, have the convertible piece actually done, and then they send it back and send it to you. I mean, there's a lot of moving parts here. So there are a couple things that I'm just really thinking of in the back of my mind. One of which is, one, you're probably going to end up having to wait to have your car built in the first place. Then, how long will the wait actually be? Remember, this is going off to a third party. So Dodge only has so much control over this in terms of quality control, how long it's going to take them. And that's the biggest thing. If you want a convertible, even if you've ordered the car, you wait for Dodge to build it, they send it off. How many months, once the orders start coming in for this, is it going to take for you to actually get your car back? Well, is this one of those things that's going to take you a year and a half to get your car? These are all things that go through my mind, and that is going to create a lot of dissatisfaction among people that are even willing to shell out the 25 grand in the first place to make it a convertible. So the car they showed was cool. But in terms of making it a reality for the average person, I feel like it's going to be a nightmare in logistics. So that's just something that I keep thinking about, and it's not as easy and as cut and dry as you would think in my mind. So you got to think about that. Now, the last thing that they showed us, I thought was pretty cool, right? It was a Durango Hellcat. Now, we've already seen the Durango Hellcat. Obviously, they built them. They built them for one model year. They're bringing them back for the 2023 model year before the Hellcats go away completely. Now, Tim did mention in his conference, and he made no bones about it, there was a rumor floating around out there by Motor Trend, and they squashed it, and he confirmed it. 2023 is it, guys. And so if you order a 2023, you get a special plaque underneath the hood and stuff like that. They try to just make it, hey, look, this is the last hurrah for this. Which I guess is kind of cool. I could really care less about a dash plaque that says, oh, by the way, this was the last one. To me, it just doesn't really mean that much. Maybe to some of you guys it would. But the Durango Hellcat, a fantastic vehicle. I rode in one last night, actually. They're a ton of fun. It is a wacky car. I'm glad they're bringing it back. I don't think they're going to make very many units. I think, once again, they're going to be extremely hard to get a hold of. And yeah, for those of people out there that can actually get one, that's going to be great because they're wonderful. I really wish they'd have brought a red eye version out of that. But I was talking to one of the guys last night, one of the engineer folks, and they just could not seem to make that work. That's likely why we don't see all-wheel drive red-eye cars coming out from Dodge, is because they've just had a few engineering things to overcome, and it's been a struggle. But the new Durango 2023 Hellcat, I think it's going to be awesome. If you can get one, great. I would, if you could get one and not get gouged too bad. But I was pretty excited about that offering. Now, Tim also mentioned, and we saw it in my live, I was right there, they had basically all these cars on the back of a semi, and they're releasing special edition Challengers over the course of really kind of the next like 6 to 8 weeks. We're going to see a lot of those come out. Now, what that's going to mean, I really don't know. But one thing that stuck out in my mind, and one thing that he said, was that they're basically going to be doing all the allocations. They're going to be very transparent about where all these cars are going to go, all the way down to like the RTs and all that kind of stuff. They've got like a horsepower configurator and like a horsepower tracker, I think is what he called it, something like that, where basically you're going to be able to tell where all of the cars they're building are going, like what dealerships and everything. Including the ones that they're building. So you won't be able to order any of these special edition Challengers. You just have to wait and see where Dodge decides to ship them, and then hopefully you can buy them. Now, here is the major thing that I think about with this, and I have been very outspoken about this ever since it started becoming a huge problem. And unless Dodge does something about this, it's going to be a bigger problem than ever. The dealerships are going to absolutely murder people over these cars. They are going to rake people over the coals. And if you're the average car guy, forget it. The dealers are going to price you directly out of the market. So, I mean, I hate to say it, but it may be a futile attempt to even try to get one of these, because unless you're one of these guys that has just money to burn, the dealerships are not going to give them up for the prices that they should. They're going to gouge people because that's what dealerships do right now. And it's a sucky practice, guys. I've talked about it at length. I'd love to talk to Dodge about, are they going to do anything to help the average guys, me and you, and 98% of the rest of us that don't have endless money. I don't know what the solution. Tim did say in the press conference that, look, you know what, this is going to be, it's not going to be easy, and we're going to upset some people with this because we can't build enough cars, and we're going into our last model year, and I know in the back of their mind they wish they could build more cars and make everybody happy, keep the prices down. So it's a tough spot for them to be in as well. I was kind of hoping there'd be some dealerships out there that would maybe do the right thing, but think about it. I mean, when you're only getting so many in, they're just going to sell these for astronomical markups. That's the end of. I mean, that's the truth of it, guys. So for the average person that doesn't make $1 million a year or more, they're going to be almost impossible to get, and that's the truth of it. So it'd be cool to see them, but you may only see them on TV unless you have endless money. Now, one quick thing I do want to mention also, he did allude to one Challenger that was over in the corner. I showed it to you guys, and I showed you the license plate. It said 1 Fast 29. So message me in the comments, guys, if you know what 1 Fast 29, if you think you know what that means. Dodge is always kind of cryptic when it comes to these little messages they put out, like what they did with the Demon and all that sort of stuff. So, I mean, I don't know if there's really any way for us to know exactly what 1 Fast 29 and be able to figure out from that exactly what they're building with that. But who knows? I also didn't want to gloss over this. He did mention that they're bringing back all sorts of old colors. He mentioned 4 in particular: B5, Plum Crazy, Sublime, and Destroyer Gray. A lot of people were upset that they went away from those colors. So for 2023, they're throwing those colors back in the mix. And I'm actually glad to see that, going back to some of the Dodge heritage and stuff like that for this last year. So I think that was a good move on Dodge's part. You saw the car outside that I showed you and had all the different colors on it. It looked like a big old rainbow thing. But it was kind of neat the way that they did that. So I did like that, and I do like the fact that they're expanding the color palette just a little bit for this last year. So now that we know everything that they brought us last night, what are my true thoughts on everything that transpired last night? To start out, I was caught a little bit off guard. One, I was not expecting them to bring the Durango Hellcat back. They did. I'm kind of excited about that. Like I said, I'm excited about the new colors. I think that is cool. I was a little taken back by just how much like specialty race type stuff they brought out. I think that's a great thing. I don't know if it's something I would highlight because for the average person, it's just not applicable. A $200,000 shell car is not applicable. Even an $8,000 car, most people out there, I know some people do, but the vast majority of us aren't building race cars. And so the first 2 offerings really don't matter. And for the Dragpack folks are kind of like the folks with the carbon fiber car. You got to have a good chunk of change just sitting around ready to build a full-blown race car. So I wasn't really sure about all of that. Now, while it's cool, I just don't think there's a lot of people that are going to get a lot of benefit out of that. The Convertible Challenger, same kind of thing. I thought it was cool. I think it would be neat to see them. I think it would be great if it was a factory car. But the fact that you have to send it out to a third party, I think could be an absolute nightmare in logistics. And I think it may create some problems down the road when they start getting lots and lots of orders for this. And is it worth 25 grand? To me, like I said, I'm not a convertible guy, but I could really care less about the convertible guys. That's just my honest thing. But some of you guys like convertibles, and that is okay. And to even have the option is pretty cool. But you better be patient because even if you want that option and you have the money to do it, I foresee it taking a while. So just be mindful of that. And of course, the new Challengers, all the special editions and stuff, I think that's great. I think they're going to be impossible to get because of what they're allowing the dealerships to do to the normal consumers. That is an absolute joke to me. I hate what the dealerships are doing. It's not fair to the consumer. And unless Dodge does something, I wouldn't even consider buying one of these at $40 or $50 or $100,000 over sticker, whatever the heck they're going to do to their consumers. So that's that. I think that might be pretty cool. I'm looking forward to seeing what they are, but I think that's the extent of it. In my mind, I was fully expecting to see a high horsepower 900 or 1,000 horsepower E85 flex fuel compatible Hellcat. That's what I thought they were going to go out with. That's what was rumored, and I sort of expected to see that. And here's the thing. That doesn't mean we won't, guys. That was only one night. We have 2 more to go. He did mention in his press conference that tonight we're going to see the first electrified Dodge. We don't know exactly what that means yet. And it could be like tonight. We saw a lot of stuff up there on the stage, right? So the fact that are they going to just have one car tonight? I highly doubt it. They'll probably have a lot of cars up there for us to take a look at. I think tonight is where things start to get a lot more exciting. So that is kind of what I'm hanging my hat on. Yesterday I was just a little bit disappointed. Some of the stuff is kind of cool, cool and intriguing to me a little bit, but for the masses, I think by and large, and by looking at your comments, most of you guys were pretty disappointed with what you saw. And we didn't see that big offering, the big ICE or internal combustion offering that we thought we would. So will tonight be different? You guys will have to tune into my live and see what you think. I'm looking forward to bringing it to you, and we're all in it together. So you guys let me know what you think about all of this down in the comments below. I just had to react to kind of everything that happened last night, and I'll catch you on the next one. So until then, Racer X.